Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. It's my privilege to welcome you to my home office tonight. It's really kind of a beautiful thing to be able to run an international business and to do so from the comfort of your own home. In my case, this little my little Zija office. I call it Zija Central for Southern California. So warm welcome to all of you. I've noticed I get a little list here on the side of all the people, the names of the people that have joined. I'm noticing a number of our top field leaders are with us this evening, many new distributors, a number of people I don't recognize. And so warm welcome to all of you, but in particular, I want to extend a welcome to those of you that are invited guests. Somebody has been sharing with you a little bit about the Zija message, the natural health revolution, and maybe you've been using our products and getting some great personal results from them. Maybe somebody's been talking about the concept of creating a secondary income stream, get some additional income coming into the home without having to have another job or what have you. And that's really what tonight's all about. We're going to take over the next several minutes. We're going to share with you a little bit about the concept of home-based business, in particular, a business that can create leveraged residual income. And those are two key concepts. Leverage is the ability to, spend an hour working on your business, but get 2 hours or 5 or 10 or 100 or 1,000 hours of productivity from a single hour that you put in. And then also the concept of residual income, be able to do something today that you can get paid on over and over again. This is really foreign concept to what we've traditionally been raised, especially in the Western world, that our income is linear income, in the sense that, you work a 40-hour week, you get paid for 40 hours of work. And in today's economy, so many people are looking for ways to create additional income, to have time freedom. And so we're going to take a couple of minutes. We're going to share with you a few of the things that you'd want to look at if that is something you were interested in, if you wanted to have an environment where you could create additional income, what to look for in a company. And then I'm really excited. I'm going to have Cathy Lanier join me. Cathy is a very successful businesswoman. She's been self-employed in her own business for a number of years. And she has found a way to create, what most people really don't have, a retirement income that can exceed your current, working life income, and to have fun doing it. So let me get right into it. The Zija International, we're a relatively young company in our profession, in that we've been in business a little over 10 years. The legacy companies in our industry have been around decades, 30, 40, 50 years. In the home-based business arena, the most lucrative way to create income is through what we call network marketing, or person-to-person marketing, or relationship marketing, multi-level marketing. There's a number of synonymous terms. I was personally introduced to this business model over 30 years ago. I was a cross-country truck driver. I was looking for a way to create substantially above average income and time freedom, because I had a special needs child that I needed to provide special resources for. But most importantly, it was going to be important for me to have the time freedom to be with my son as he was growing up. This profession of network marketing has fulfilled on all of those promises. I started when I really had no concept whatsoever about marketing and business and that sort of thing. I drove 18-wheelers. But what I found was a simple system that only required 3 things. And you may want to jot this down in your notes, and kind of like a self-evaluation, if you will. What I was told is, if I had good work ethics, if I was willing to work, if I was coachable, willing to learn, and I had the desire to create a life that most people dream of and most people never achieve, willing to work, willing to learn, burning desire to succeed, that was all that was required for me to create success in this type of business. And I had all 3 of those. I've always been a hard worker. I knew that I didn't know anything about this profession. And well, I just told you what my desire was. I wanted to take care of my son. And while it didn't happen overnight, one of the things that I did have was that willingness to take the time it took to build this kind of business. And with the previous company, I retired in 10 years. So when it came time to looking at Zija International, I'd been in retirement for several years. I knew what to look for in a company, and I pretty much decided I was never going to be able to find that in this profession again until I was introduced to Zija. And these were the three things that I saw. Number one, the experience of the corporate team, the people running the company. Our company, the owner of our company is a man named Ken Brailsford. And you may want to jot that down. You may not have heard of Ken's name, but you already know who he is. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He was the first person to take medicinal herbs, put them into the little gel caps we're all accustomed to make it easier for the average person to consume the health benefits of medicinal herbs. Ken is a master herbalist. He is also an incredibly successful business person. Ken created his very first company back in the early 70s. Nature's Sunshine has now been in business over 40 years, approaching 45 years. It's done billions, countless billions of dollars of sales in that 40-year period of time, continues in business to this day. Number two, he went in the 80s and created his second company, Zija International. Many of you are familiar with that company. Now continues under the name of Unicity. Another one of the industry's multi-decade, multi-billion-dollar companies, now in business over 30 years. Nobody's ever done that before. Ken Brailsford's the only person in history that's created two of the multi-decade, multi-billion-dollar companies in our business arena. Now, Ken came out of retirement a little over 10 years ago for this company, and it was based upon the product. Obviously, Ken didn't need to start another company. He had long since retired from the industry. The Moringa oleifera tree, which is the foundation of our product line. This is the Moringa tree is the National Institutes of Health Botanical of the Year from 2008. It was recognized as being the most nutrient-rich botanical known to man. It has been studied for now over 60 years. But nobody's ever done anything with it because big pharma, the pharmaceutical companies, they can't synthesize this. They can't make a patented drug. And so it really kind of, sat around doing absolutely nothing. When Ken learned of this product and the power of this tree to literally provide the nutrition our bodies need to correct so many, dysfunctions in the body, he was, in his words, he was spiritually prompted to come out of retirement and bring this product to market. And so when I looked at the leadership of the company, and specifically the experience, the success, the track record, the integrity of the leadership of this company, secondly, I looked at the product. Now, this is very interesting. Our products meet recognized needs. We've now expanded our product division from our liquid nutritionals, our whole food nutritional line, to essential oils. We are category creators out there. Today, while essential oils, that's a marketplace that's been around for quite a long time. There's two companies that pretty much dominate that market. They're, well over $1 billion a year in sales. Yet we are the first company to bring clinical grade essential oils, the quality and purity that's used in the scientific studies. We're the first people to bring that to the market, make it available to the consumer at extremely competitive pricing. We've expanded into consumer products for the home, for the body, skin care, hair care, personal care products. These are the products that people are looking for today. Interesting, I saw an interesting article. This is the first time in history that virtually all demographics worldwide are looking for alternatives to the medical way of dealing with problems. Okay, this is something we don't have to convince people they need. They're looking for our products. They just don't know where to find our products, and we have a complete line of products, highly consumable. They really work. Our customer retention rate is the envy of the industry. The third thing I looked at when I was evaluating companies over several years was timing. And I will tell you, when I first saw Zija, they'd only been in business a couple of years, a very small company. We had one product at the time. The timing was not correct. Okay, that would in most cases would have been the absolute worst time to join a company. The fact is that in the last 10 years, we have been doing all the things necessary to create the next major growth curve in Zija. When you can find a company that's got some tenure, okay, ideally somewhere between the first $100, $200 million a year, this is where you have a company that is poised for exponential growth. All of the top income earners in our profession in network marketing have joined their respective companies at a point in the growth curve which is identical to where Zija is today. So hopefully that's giving you a little bit of a foundation of what to look for in a home-based business. I'm going to bring Cathy Lanier over here. Cathy, I'm bringing you over to my side of the webinar here. There we go. Many of you have been following Cathy on Facebook. Hey, Cathy, how are you?
Hey, Fred, how are you?
Very good. You're looking lovely, my dear.
I tried to clean up my office a little bit. Or
I was just going to say, either you moved from where you were earlier today, or you straightened up really good.
I straightened up a little.
Yeah, you might be like me, that over on this side, there's a hanging flag.
Yeah.
And it's covering a lot of stuff that I throw over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a dog bed down here because they join me while I'm working. And,
Oh, good. Good. Well, let me do the introduction. I've had the chance to know Cathy here for several months. Cathy has been recognized as one of our top enrollers for several months in Zija, and which is amazing because Cathy runs a very large IT company. She's a private consulting company. She's been helping me with my computer problems. Don't everybody call Cathy and ask her for help with the computer. Don't do that. But yeah, please don't do that. But what I asked Cathy to join us, because she has, through a customer base, built her business now to the Gold Executive level. Cathy, what I want to do is I want to take a couple of minutes, because really tonight, the Biz Talks presentation is to help people understand who is interested in our kind of business. What do they do to get off to a fast start and build their business? So let's just kind of start with, let's go back a ways. Tell us a little bit about your background and what was your motivation to look at network marketing?
Well, I'll go back a long ways. My very first job, real job out of college, was selling cookware for Zig Ziglar's company. So I cut my teeth in an environment that really made me consider the possibilities out there. And probably, that's something that not a lot of people run into. They just go into a job and do it. But, exposure to Zig, how can you not dream that the moon, is yours? But anyway, my dad was always an entrepreneur. My dad always had his own business, and I had grown up in that environment. I tried the corporate thing for a while, and I could never really wrap my brain around the fact that I was going to be limited in the way that I thought, limited in the things that I could do, and most of all, limited in the income that I could make based on what somebody else decided that I should get paid. So the time came, lots of other things happened, but roughly 30 years ago, I wound up starting a software development, software consulting company. And we've been pretty successful. I was Entrepreneur of the Year a couple times, and, all of that jazz, and had kind of, gotten into a pretty decent lifestyle there. And, people always brought me, because of my success in the business world, people always brought me network marketing opportunities. But I would look at the products, and if it was a product that I liked, I would, get a wholesale membership or whatever it took to get the product. But it never, ever crossed my mind that I would do the business, mainly because I didn't know anything about the business. And my only exposure to it was my next door neighbor that sold Avon, and all I could see was she was schlepping things out of her trunk to people, and I just couldn't see that happening with me. But then 2008 happened, and the world changed. The banks just literally created a hostile working environment for traditional small businesses like mine. And as a result, we were nearly forced out of business. So that forced me to take a little more serious look at what was behind the mask of the network marketing. And no matter how skeptical I was and how I tried to turn it on its end and say, oh, this will never work, or there's something wrong with it, everything I looked at made complete sense. It was the only opportunity, the only type of opportunity I'd ever really analyzed from a business model perspective, that somebody working for me could actually out-earn me. And that would never happen in the corporate world. It never happens even if you own your own business. If you're the boss, that's how it is. Even though in my business, working with software guys, if they come to you and, put the pedal to the metal, you may have to pay them more than you earn. But, ideally, that's kind of not, how it was. So as I turned this thing around and looked at it from all the angles, I realized that this business model might just be the one where there are really no limitations. That if you put in the work, if you, keep up, if you're fairly well organized, and you do have a product that you can get behind and develop a solid belief system about, then really the sky's the limit. That's, you can take that wherever you want to.
It's kind of interesting how you phrase that as a successful businesswoman. You had to actually analyze it to realize what was there. As a truck driver, it just made so much sense to me. These are products that I would use, and if I would use them, my friends would probably use them, and so I'd make some money there. And my friends are probably like me; they'd like to make some extra money, so they might want to get in, and they might have some friends that want to make the product. And what they told me is, if you just keep doing that over and over and over again, all of a sudden you got 10,000 people using the product. And I go, makes sense to me. But as a successful businesswoman, it took a little while to actually see that. So tell me about your experience in network marketing, because I know that Zija was not your first network marketing opportunity.
Not by a long shot, Fred. When I finally decided to stick my toe in the water and look at the business side of it, I fell into something that was just as natural to me as walking around and breathing. There was a technology-based product that was going to turn the cell phone industry on its ear. And everything I looked at made complete sense. And it was just something that just matched my DNA. I already knew the lingo. I already knew the platforms this thing could run on. I already knew so much about it. And I very quickly got pretty successful in the company because I could go around and talk the talk and explain to people how it worked, why it worked. And as long as our model actually came out of the gate working, that we would literally pretty much corner the market in this particular technology segment. Problem was that when it actually launched, it didn't work. So, then there we were. They tried to kind of put us into another direction with a couple of other lesser technologies that were already kind of oversold as far as I was concerned. So the company kind of left me on that one. And so that one didn't really work out for me. But all of this time, because I had been the primary caregiver for my mom, I had always been very interested in health, and particularly natural health. And so the next thing that I got involved in was a network marketing company that did promote some very, very high quality natural health products. And actually Ken Brailsford was a friend of our founder and spoke at a couple of the network marketing events that I attended way back then. And so I already knew the name. I already knew that everything he had touched, you know, pretty much turned to gold, and that it was going to be credible, it was going to be quality, and it was going to have something in it a little bit more, because Ken's heart was so evident. Every time he spoke to anybody, you could tell that he had the heart for helping other people. And that was really where I felt like I was led at that time. But, you know, and again, had moderate success in that company. But after a few years, they sold out to a company that managed to, little by little by little, eliminate the main products that were my biggest sellers. Mm-hmm. So, you know, again, here I was back to square one. So I was pretty much, I thought I was done with network marketing. And then this guy shows up and says, hey, I want to start a network marketing company. Why don't you come in and join me, and you can help with the IT part of it, and the operations management, and the strategy and marketing, yada, yada, all the stuff that I do anyway. And so we went out, found investors, wrote the most beautiful back office and replicated websites you've ever seen in your life, and launched our company. And we were batting along, doing pretty well, until that same guy who had talked me into doing this managed to abscond with the rest of the investor money and leave. So needless to say, at that point, network marketing was not high on my list. I don't have a warm market, understand, because all of those people that could be my warm market invested money that, you know, went south. So, you know, that's kind of how I got into it. But then about 14 months ago, I have a rather large Facebook presence in a Yorkie group that I started 3.5 years ago after I lost one of my Yorkies.
Yorkie dog.
Yeah, Yorkies, little bitty, yeah, little cute, yeah. Terrierists, I call them. They're terriers, but they're terrierists. But anyway, about 14 months ago, a gal on the group approached me and said that she had a little dog that was suffering from some kidney problems, and the vet was telling her she was going to have to put him down in a week or two. And we had basically thrown everything at him that I knew to throw at the time, and she asked me if I knew of anything else to try. So by manner of networking and the beauty of social media and connecting people, I ended up on the phone with Pat Anderson. Uh-huh. And Pat, in about 20 minutes, gave me a primer on moringa, and I'm sure I was sitting there with my mouth wide open the whole time. She had me watch the Discovery Channel video and then get back. Anyway, long story short, she connected me with a gal in my hometown just to get some samples of Super Mix for the dog to send to the dog. So Janet Robinson, who is my sponsor, and I'd known Janet for years from the IT industry, but she came over to the house to bring us the samples so that I could send them to the dog. On her way out the door, she said, well, do you want me to leave enough of this stuff for you and your husband to try? And I said, well, why would we want to take something that's for dogs? So obviously I had missed a big piece of that. But, you know, she explained, no, it's actually a product made for us, and we share it with the dogs. So, so she left enough, and I now know her insidious plan. She left enough just to get us hooked. And so literally after 3 days of us both using the product, we knew that this was something special. We knew it was something that we had to get behind. And with my plan of getting some certifications and becoming a health coach after I retire from the software industry, I knew that these were some products that I could really make use of and spread around to help a lot of people. So I stuck my toe in the water. I think I bought an NHR basic pack, and then realized 2 days later I'd probably made a mistake. So I called Janet and said, okay, how do I get me one of those diamond systems? and so it began. And then when I found that Ken Brailsford was behind it, that sealed the deal. I knew that the company was ethical. I knew that the research had been done. I knew the quality was there. And most of all, I knew the heart was there. I knew the reason behind the company and the reason behind the products would not go away as long as Ken was involved. So, my husband and I lost a fair amount of weight, and kind of became, poster children for the product from that aspect. And the little Yorkie that we were trying to save its life is still running around, and now that's 14 months ago. So he did really well. And so basically, since I have no warm market, but since these products work so well with the dogs, my market is all product based to start with. And so we just basically tell people what has happened and what we've seen, and they end up ordering it for their dogs and wind up getting curious enough to try it themselves. And just like Janet's plan, once people try it, they know that they don't want to get rid of it. So, that's how I've built my entire business. And the thing that I love about it is, it's network marketing. It's not work marketing. But even if I have a lot of travel on my plate, or I have to do a lot of work for my software business, or if I just want to take a break, take a vacation and sit on the beach for a few days, I can still do that and watch the sales still coming in from the organization that I've built, because so many people, once they start using the products, they continue to use them. It's not a 1 month and gone kind of a thing like most of the network marketing companies that I've worked with in the past. People keep ordering the stuff. And I mean, I could literally, some weeks I could do nothing and still have the same amount of sales. And that's the beauty of it, because you've built that residual income. You've leveraged the number of people and the number of people that need to use this product and want to use this product. And they just keep using it. So that's why it works. And everything I do is on Facebook, because again, I have no warm market. I've run all those people out of my life. But it's the perfect business model if you want to just do something on the side that is going to start to build and will eventually snowball into a full-time income or a retirement income, or whatever you really want it to be. You can design it and make it be what you want to do.
Well, Cathy, I appreciate so much your words, because, 30 years now, you say you've had a successful, IT business. Mm-hmm. And most people don't understand business, because let's face it, the 95% of the world are people like I used to be. I work for a living, right? I show up, work for a week, I expect a paycheck. And in business, it oftentimes takes years and years and years to get into profitability, to recoup the thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars necessary to start a business. But in our kind of business, that consistency of effort over a period of time, look, 14 months and you already have a residual income stream. And now I know you've had a few of your team members start to kick in. So now you're starting to get the leverage of other people. Just a powerful story. And Cathy, it's always a joy to spend some time with you. I always have the best time hanging out.
And I wore my bling shirt.
Oh, check you out. Zija Bling. Yeah, that's looking good. I like it. Cathy, we're at the top of our hour here. Thank you so much for joining us, and looking forward to seeing you again on one of our Biz Talk shows. And congratulations on all your success. I appreciate everything you're doing for us.
Thanks, Fred.
All right, we'll let Cathy go back to the other side here. And folks, in closing here, I want to do two things, okay? And in particular, for those of you that were invited to take a look at this evening's presentation, or maybe somebody sent you the link to the replay, I'm going to have you do two things for me, okay? Number one, I want you to think about our products. If you could benefit from better health, organic nutrition, clean, natural, organic skincare, personal care products, healthy alternatives to pharmaceutical drugs. If those are things that would be of interest to you, get with the person who asked you to be part of this broadcast. Get a chance to try our products. And then secondly, for those of you that are maybe looking for something that Cathy was looking for, a way to create not just another income stream, but something that can then become residual, long-term residual income. The person that asked you to be part of this broadcast can get you information. We've got a number of different venues and vehicles to answer your questions. Get your questions answered and make a decision. Get involved with us, because right now, over the next, say, 6 to 7 months for the balance of this year, we are putting into place what will become in 2019 a record-setting pace of growth for the network marketing industry. Everything is in place, and as Cathy was telling you, the most experienced person in this profession, the owner of Zija International, Ken Brailsford, is working on a daily basis in the office preparing for Zija 2.0. We will be setting records over the next 24 to 36 months. Get in before the masses. Join us. And for those of you that are ready to get started, on Saturday morning, day after tomorrow, we're going to have a special new distributor training, and we will talk exactly about what you want to do to build a home-based business, leverage your time, and create a substantial long-term residual income. So person that has to be part of this broadcast will be able to share that information with you as well. Okay, we've exceeded our allotted time. Thank you for joining us. One more shout out to Cathy Lanier. Thank you so much, Cathy, for being part of this particular episode of Biz Talks. And with that, we'll look forward to seeing you on Saturday morning. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care now. Bye-bye.